this is Marlene, a warm welcome from Glasgow, Scotland to all around the world. In this series of Marlene and Friends, I'll be sharing with you the most amazing group of people who have all the skills and expertise to make our world one of health and peace for all who live here, humans and non-humans alike. This week I'm introducing you to my beautiful friend Mayumi Nishimura, who is an incredible cook and is well known worldwide as Madonna's macrobiotic chef. For a decade, Mayumi took care of the superstar's diet by making the most delicious, healthy macrobiotic food. Mayumi's also cooked macrobiotic meals for other well-known stars of stage and screen, including Sting, Brad Pitt, Gwyneth Paltrow, Stella McCartney, Guy Ritchie. Mayumi also teaches macrobiotic cooking to young mothers, college students, trained chefs, and lectures on an array of health topics to a wide audience around the globe. She's written several books, including the bestseller Mayumi's Kitchen, a beautiful book which has been translated and published in the US, Europe and Asia, and is endorsed with a beautiful foreword from the lady herself, Madonna. Mayumi currently works as a life and health coach and private chef and continues to stay active domestically and internationally, promoting macrobiotics around the world, and we will for sure organise to teach together this year. Hi, I'm Marlene Watson-Tara in service for a healthy world. Today I'm so excited to introduce you to my beautiful friend and macrobiotic expert, Mayumi Nishimura. Mayumi is undoubtedly a leader of the macrobiotic lifestyle. Having served as Madonna's private chef for 7 years, she lived with the singer's family in London, she accompanied her on worldwide tours, she became a part of Madonna's family basically. The fact that Madonna is the top-selling female artist of all time, Mayumi had to match that and become the top macrobiotic chef of all time, which Mayumi is. If you haven't experienced Mayumi Nishimura, you're in for a huge treat. Welcome Mayumi, and congratulations on all of your achievements. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you so much, Marlene. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you, and I'm so excited to actually then end up connecting. We've been trying to teach together for so many years.
Well,
Amazon
right.
sell our books together in a package, which is quite fun, but we keep missing each other. You spend time every year in Alaska, in America. I was there, you were in Japan. You were in Portugal, I was in the UK. I was in New York, you were somewhere else. So we need to get this happening this year and get a fantastic, fun workshop happening.
I'd love to do that.
You know, one of the things I want to share with the world is your absolutely stunningly beautiful book. I mean, it's one of my most favourite books that I share with my students, and the recipes that you created, Mayumi, defy the dull, stoic images that many people associate with a plant-based diet or a macrobiotic diet, and they get confused and base macrobiotics, oh, it's just a Japanese diet, which it's not, you know, and I agree with you. You say quite correctly that we should look at our own country and have an Italian-style macrobiotic diet, have a British-style macrobiotic diet. The important thing is that each country and region, you know, have their own traditional diet specific to the country or the region. And, you know, macrobiotics is so simple, an old adage, really, that it's just an old way, an old natural way of eating and living. In your culture, Mayumi, how did the ancient people eat back then?
Back then? Well, we believe that they've been eating the rice for a long time. The written thing about how to eat according to seasons, those are from like 400 years ago. And talking about rice, vegetables, which grow in the local. Of course, you know, that time, nobody really traveled that far, not like now. So, you know, it was easy for them to do so, you know. And I think every religion was the same thing. You know, people doesn't travel as much as we do now, so they could eat accordingly where they live and, you know, seasonally, you know. So that was much easier.
And that's why, and I know you say the same as me, that's why the whole world is crazy sick with so much disease and everything else that's happening. Because I know, like myself, you've taught and cooked for a lot of cancer patients, but primarily we're both about teaching education and prevention and making people, feel well and excited about life before they even get to the stage of being sick. And for me, one of the gifts of macrobiotic cuisine is what I call gut maintenance, and you call intestinal gardening. Which, would you like to expand on that and share from really a traditional Japanese diet what we use in terms of fermentation for, foods?
Right, fermentation that, of course, Japanese learned from China. And so the miso and shoyu, all those are originally from China, but then they imported here in Japan and made it much higher quality. And also because of the climate here, its fermentation goes really well. And so there's so many. It's called koji. Is the one thing. It's really not Western region doesn't have. So the koji is the one which is for starter for miso and soy sauce, and many other things like mirin, for example. Those are also you need koji to start with, and it is very, very long time the people are working on it, so this became so specific, and now it's still people are working on really well with fermentation. I think some people are making really wonderful tempeh here now. Tempeh is from Indonesia, but Japanese people are really keen on it too.
And it's fantastic because, as we both teach, all these fermented products encourage the growth of healthy bacteria in the bowel, and that staves off, illness, and that keeps our insides in tip-top condition and strengthens our immune system. So it's something that, we're hugely passionate about sharing in cooking classes and educating people. Apart from, warding off diseases and what have you, what are some of Madonna's macrobiotic favourites that you cooked and gave her on a daily basis to keep her energy levels incredibly high?
Well, it's not easy for most of the Western people to eat miso soup every morning. So I use miso in different soups, in the evening as well. And I also use the miso or soy sauce for dressings. And so I think she got quite a bit of it. And also umeboshi plum was really good for, agent for taking care of the digestive system. So those are the ones I use quite often. And what else? But other fermented thing, the tempeh. I never served her natto. You know natto, right?
Yeah.
So those I have not.
Yeah.
But
you need to have a real warrior spirit to try natto.
What else did I use? I think mostly those miso and soy sauce, and also pickles I made for her with using those things. The umeboshi vinegars and stuff like that.
Yeah, and sea vegetables as well, I would imagine you would have used in abundance.
Yeah.
It's such an unused food on the planet, and for me it's I've been using sea vegetables since I was about 16 or 17 years of age, so I was known as Marlene the mermaid when I was a teenager because I was paranoid about having sea vegetables in my diet, so and I didn't know back then what I do and what I teach now. What do you feel separates a macrobiotic chef from other types of private chefs that may work for individuals around the world?
Sorry, could you say that again?
Yeah. Where do you feel we have the edge, or macrobiotics for me has the edge as a private chef? If you're training chefs like I'm training chefs, or you're working for very high profile people, which I know you've had, many clients. What do you feel the macrobiotic chef brings to their kitchen or to their table that many other private chefs can't?
Okay. The orderliness of the food. You cook pretty. We always have something like soup and a pickles or plain salad to begin with, and the grains and the vegetables, and all that is. it's very orderly in the kitchen and clean. It's very clean, I think. So let's say we do provide the calmness also in the kitchen, not only because we are very centered and focused on the cooking, but also what we use, for the cooking, and that creates the energy for the clients, very calm and relaxing atmosphere, as well as when they need some energy to, push themselves, to do what they have to do in a daily basis. We can provide that as well by using specific, food and method of cooking.
And I think also, we're very fortunate and blessed in Macrobiotics to have such phenomenal medicinal teas, incredible home remedies, external compresses or whatever. Is that something that you use as well?
Yes, I did very much, very often. So time to time, I have to change those drinks or remedies for her. I did give some massage in the beginning also, but then I got too busy, so I didn't have to do that, But because we do train for it, we do know how to do some, the basic massage as well as making those internal drinks and other stuff. So which is very helpful, because you don't have any side effects from the food. So.
Well, Bill laughs at me, and says that no matter who crosses my path, Mayumi, they get a ginger compress slapped on their kidneys or their intestines, because most people have such stagnation in these organs of elimination. And so, I'm queen of the ginger compresses, and the medicinal teas. It's just phenomenal, and that's where I get huge success when I'm training chefs for clients of mine too. So it kind of gives you little bit of the edge, huh?
Yeah, I think those are very important things to learn. Because those are the things regular chef doesn't know.
Exactly.
But also the food combinations and all that.
Yeah. Beautiful. Okay, in your book you have a wonderful section called Petite Macro. Could you explain to the world what that is? I think it's phenomenal, but just share with us.
Yeah, because when people think that you have to eat like healing diet every day, and which of course when we learn the basic, that's where we start. Eat something very clean. But if you're doing that for certain lengths of time, of course you get bored because it's too simple. The food has to change according to your needs and where you're at in your life, as well as, of course, your condition. And if you don't, I feel people who want to really just continue doing what they're doing and they don't have any condition, then I think they could choose the food a little more wider than what we so-called healing diet. And so Petite Macro does give the idea to using a little more, like herbs and spices. The spices really gives you some spice in your life, and which I really enjoy time to time. And I think using sparklingly, it makes it really, really interesting in your dishes. And which I didn't learn when I was in the mostly when I was doing healing diet. But when I became, the private chef for Madonna, then I thought really the people need something a little more than just, simple soy sauce and miso and salt, and that really, I think I could reach more people by doing that. And I do call it Petite Macro here because there's quite a few people and quite a bit of the crowd are doing macrobiotic in very much Japanese old school way. So I need to use that words to make it a little bit differentiate from that. So the way I use it could be not for the healing journey, but some people do get still quite good result by doing that too. So I don't think Petite Macro is it's limiting,
No,
things.
not at all.
I think it's more expanding and then to invite more people and enjoy the food really. And also, I do tell most of people here, well, why don't you start just from the weekend and then just, gradually move into what you really want, what
Yeah.
you really, wants to become. So using that word, it's really worked well, here, and I hope it's worked well for everybody else
Yeah,
too.
it's a fantastic concept the way you designed it and put it together because, if there's too many rigid rules, people
Yeah.
will not change, Mayumi. And even when I'm writing articles or my book or whatever, and as you know, I'm hugely passionate. It's the vegan message for me, but in a healthy manner, not the typical vegan processed diet. But that's what drives me. So when I'm changing people's diet, a bit like you with the petit macro, I say, master your breakfast. When you have a delicious, nutritious breakfast and it's, vegan, plant-based, the way you're wanting to go, move on to lunch. Get lunch sorted. There's thousands of recipes you can create. Once you've nailed lunch, move to dinner. And before you know it, you're living this absolutely incredibly delicious, healthy diet. Also in your book, you have a 10-day detox diet, but it's not the typical detox that drives people like you and me insane with, liver oil, cod liver oil or whatever it is they do and bombard their liver. This is a beautifully delicious introduction to how to gently stimulate discharge from all your organs and using specific recipes that you've put together. It's fantastic. Do you want to talk a little bit about that? Because the word detox is always on everybody's lips, yeah?
Yeah. Well, I think some people are doing too much of the detox
Sure.
thing too. Anyway, yeah. Well, I thought, since theoretically, like from about 7 days, you could, the 7 to 10 days that the blood quality changes. So I thought that would be a great idea to start from there because we do need to get things more like cool. Well, it's like just get started. 10 days is like you feel it. You could feel it in 10 days. Even the taste buds changes.
Yeah.
So I thought those are the good place to start. If people get a glass of feeling of eating clean food, makes or how you feel, then I think people can continue doing it. So that after 10 days you can gradually, expand a little more what you used to eat. And then that way what food does to, to your body and mind. And I think that's a really great place to start. I did a couple of times like 10 days detox program in Japan. It's really, really worked well. And so I do want to do more often, but Japanese people, they don't want to take the 10 days off. No. So now I have to do a few days, like, weekend session, which is coming up next week also. I'm going to do that.
Wonderful. I was just about to ask you actually, because we can have more control over the direction of our own health and sensitivity that most people can imagine. So just what you've said, cutting back, people don't have 10 days perhaps to come on courses that Bill and I run, so we've created a mini break, and it's just what you've said, it's called the Ultimate Health Experience Mini Break, and it's a Saturday and Sunday. So in Japan, I know your culture have moved away, from their cultural diet and towards the Western diet. And, you must see the huge influx of diabetes and obesity in your own country too.
Yes. Now it's metabolic syndrome is huge as well. Yeah. And I think it's more so here that I notice is really bad eczemas, like
sugar,
some of the very, very little kids or some of the adults just starting to have it suddenly, because they've been eating too much of it, the body just cannot control anymore.
Yeah, dairy and sugar, it's just like a combination of a nightmare, right? A nightmare of a combination, yeah. So, in Japan right now, you were doing some television work. Is that still going on? Is that happening?
Not TV right now. I'm working more towards going to specific places now and then teach cooking classes, but also do some like dinner event, so people can come and just experience it. Also, I do talk about macrobiotic before that, and I do have one steady cooking class in Tokyo for not private, I mean personal chef company that I do teach cooking classes as well as theory. So that's going really well, and people are really interested in to take those classes.
That's wonderful because, as we all know, education is the only way we're going to change the world. We've got to just keep on it and stay on top of it all. Do you think Madonna would write a song for us and we could all be in the chorus? Like if she wrote a song called Change Must Come? Could you ask her, Mayumi?
Maybe I should. Well, she's coming here soon, maybe in about 10 days, to do her show. So I'm going to assist her new chef who's cooking right now, for her. And, well, we'll see, where she's at.
Just say Madonna, Marlene and I and all our fellow colleagues around the world, we need your voice.
Same age, right?
Yeah, we're the same age that you, Madonna, and me. We're all like, these incredibly high energized women, right? Or girls.
Yes.
And us girls could change the planet. So ask Madonna and just say it could be called Change Must Come. I mean, look at the energy that Madonna has. Look at the body that she has. I mean, her skin, look at you, look at me. I don't know, people half our age don't have the energy that we have, and it's from the food that we eat. So, and the food is not boring or tasteless. It's absolutely delicious.
It is
delicious.
Good. Otherwise, I would continue doing this for 35 years, right?
Exactly. I mean, you had such an incredible... Your story is so sweet, Mayumi, and, talk about having a calling such a young age. You were like just a 17, 18-year-old when you went to Boston. You couldn't speak English. You started... Yeah, it's so beautiful. You started teaching and cooking for Aveline and Michio Kushi in their home, and then... You were teaching for, and cooking for so many. It's an incredible story.
You see, I would say that was my first job for celebrity, right? Each one that I mean is the first one that I started to cook. I learned a lot. I learned a lot by mistake too. But anyway, I think I forgot to tell you what I'm doing here. I do help a younger generation who wants to create a healthy and a safe environment for themselves, which is eco village idea. Many people are having it. So I do go places who are really interested in those things, and then I work with them. So there's many places now sprouting out, doing like natural farming.
Wonderful.
And eat very, very close to macrobiotic way. Sure. And they want to learn more about how to cook for themselves. So I do teach those people as well.
That's wonderful.
And then and then I got some contact in Bangkok, the Thailand, and we might start to work there as well from next year, the next few years. I'm not quite sure yet, but people are really interested in macrobiotic. Yes.
That's fantastic. And the thing is, the word itself, as we both know, or the world should know, simply means the great life, the big life, live life to your full potential, break it down. And I think the word in itself, is confusing. They think it's nothing to do with antibiotics. It's the big life, the great life, and that's why, we love and adore teaching it. And I think, going towards, I think this year in particular, there's been a little shift in energy because we're feeling there's a lot more interest, there's a lot more inquiries, and basically, unless human beings start to waken up and use their voice, like you do, like I do, we all have to push out together and bring some sort of sanity back to the world, because it's just crazy. So we love people like you in the world. I mean, Mayumi, I can't wait to get something organised. We need to do it this year. And Bill sends his love to you. It's a long time since he's seen you as well.
I'd love to see you guys. And I still remember very, very well with Bill's classes when
Yeah.
I was in Boston. It's so funny. And it's so
I
funny.
know.
I really love his classes.
Well, he's a
Yeah.
wonderful teacher and counselor, as you know. And talking about funny, you must have the same as me. We all have some funny experience.
Yeah.
So share something with us to make us laugh.
Yeah, okay. Well, one thing that really, really, um, I had a pinch that I supposed to carry my rice syrup all the time, but one time I forgot. I cannot tell you who, but anyway, I was cooking for high, profile person, and I was supposed to, have the rice syrup in the kitchen every morning, but I didn't have one. But then, I just couldn't say so. So I have to do something. I need some sweet for, this person. So I only had brown sugar. So I have to cook it up with water and then look like, become a rice syrup. Luckily, this person didn't notice it. So thank God. Otherwise,
Well, I hope they're not I hope they're not listening in, Mayumi, or you could be getting a lawsuit on you.
yeah.
No.
It didn't really.
Yeah, it's no, it's fantastic. You've had an incredible 40 plus years teaching. You're amazing. You've got energy like someone 25. You look 25. You look incredible, and everybody around the world wants to thank you. And I'm really making sure that people, because Mayumi, really in the UK so much, or maybe even in Europe, this book needs to start moving. The photography is just absolutely beautiful. So I'm very proud to have you as my wee friend in Japan, and we'll get together soon. So I'd like to thank you for being a beautiful soul, for all the work you do in the world, and for making a big difference to the planet, the animals, and everybody that lives here.
Thank you so much, and nice talking with you. We should really get together, do cook and do teach together.
Yeah, we'll definitely do something this year, and you'll be getting over here for this TV show because I'm pushing, and we're going to have to do it. The girls are going to change the planet, and the men, but the girls.
Yeah.
So speak to Madonna. Madonna, we need your voice on here.
Okay.
Thank you, Mayumi. Lots of love.
Thank you, Marlene.
Bye.
Bye.